All right. We are live, I believe. No, of course not. Yes, we are. All right. Is the audio better now? I hope it's better. It sounds good to me, but I don't know. All right. Well, Twitch, unfortunately, there's going to be another 3-minute ad. I hear it cutting out. Oh my god. Oh, or not? I can't really tell. I don't even know. I don't even know. Um, it sounds better to me. I don't know. It's a little bit weird that I have my own voice with like a 5-second delay in my ear. So if anything, I'm gonna be speaking weird for a little bit. But it mostly sounds okay now. I feel like there's just another stream on YouTube now. And as always, we're gonna delete my like 10-second stream. Operating system as that's dead, baby. Hello everyone again. Seems like we're good now. And yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the ad on Twitch to finish. The second ad. I'm making bank today. I've been streaming for 15 minutes and 6 minutes of that has been ads. I swear. Um, yeah, no, I'm making bank here. I got a notification on my iPhone that, let me see if it's still there. It was there last night. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Yeah, get ready for your new iPhone. Use iCloud to move your apps and data to your new iPhone. Okay. Apparently I bought myself an iPhone. I didn't even know about it. So, cool. Damn it, have I been shopping while drunk again? Um, how much have I made of ads since I started streaming? Enough to buy myself an iPhone without even knowing about it. Yeah, not that much, honestly. Just like 2 subscriptions a month is enough to get more money than that. Wait, what? Okay. No, actually? Well, yeah. Let's say 1 subscription a week is more than I get from ads. But that's not super accurate. Of course, that's different when you have a lot more viewers. Car reviews? Why car reviews? Oh, that's my last name. I see what you mean. I always get confused when people talk about cars. That's my last name. I was unfortunately born with a chronic condition called being Italian. So that's my last name. Incurable. Well, I might actually have to renounce my Italian citizenship to get Spanish citizenship, so it's a little bit curable. Born in the Ferrari family. Yeah, that's it. That's how I have money for a new iPhone without even knowing about it. That and the ads, of course. The 6 minutes of ads. And also, I've been waiting for the ads to finish. They ended like 10 minutes ago. Not really. All right. I'm also still wearing my headphones, even though the stream is muted, so I wasn't even listening to anything. Can you have a Ferrari? Sure, go for it. Don't ask me for one, but you have my permission to get one. Very well camouflaged dog. Is he? Yeah, a little bit. Why are you staring at me? Hey. How you doing? Alright, this is what I did yesterday. My Game of Life, Game of Death project, now running natively on Linux using Raylib. And today, I have a few more things to finish when it comes to this. There's currently no input, so... Oh, that was an error. Wait. How did that just... Why do I feel like that just worked? That was not supposed to work. If you press escape, it quits. But I haven't set up the stuff for input yet. And I tried pressing enter and it doesn't quit. So either this is like default behavior in Raylib. It is default in Raylib. Okay, thank you. That's really weird that Raylib makes that default, because like, when has that ever been a thing by default? It's a default in my system, but not like that. Okay. It's just really trippy because I haven't built it. I was gonna say I'm gonna do input and then it's like, okay, it's already done. What? Was I? Okay, someone genuinely tell me if after I stopped streaming last night, I just like got blackout drunk, started streaming again, did the input and bought an iPhone without even remembering any of it, because I'm a little bit concerned about that iPhone message because I didn't buy a new iPhone. So I don't know what Apple is talking about with the new iPhone thing. But hey, if they want to send me a new iPhone, they're more than welcome to. More than welcome to do that. Okay, so yeah, that's what I did yesterday. Yesterday I did the cross-platform, so I can build my games and my apps for Linux, Windows, Mac. I haven't tested it on Mac yet. I will never test it on Windows. If one of you wants to, you're more than welcome to. I will not. I think this one is cross-platform, and so is the... Did someone nearby buy a new iPhone? Oh, I guess it could be. That would be a little weird, because I've never had that happen. But maybe? I don't know. I guess it could technically be a thing. But have they had an iPhone? Don't you want to set up that iPhone? Oh, maybe they have it for Christmas, so they haven't actually like activated it. Since you're using GCC, it won't work on Windows unless you install one of those shitty Unix environment simulators. What about Linux environment for Windows? That thing. WSL. Windows subsystem for Linux. What's its name? That cannot possibly be right. Windows subsystem for Linux. That acts as a host to Linux? I'm trying to understand the name, because I haven't thought about it. The Windows subsystem for Linux is the one that hosts Linux. I'm assuming that's what it means. That's the way that you interpret this name, because the 4 was a little bit weird. Linux subsystem for Windows would be clearer to me because it's Windows host, Linux is the subsystem. But then again, I don't know how it works. I would never do that. I would just rather... I'm not donating to you, Mozilla. I would just run Linux. It's just a headless Linux VM, yeah. Well, Windows can cry about it, I guess. We shipped a lame VM. A little bit of a hack there with the name, but I'll take it. Okay, msys2. I'm just trying to do something cross-platform as easily as possible. I don't care. I don't care about Windows in the slightest. I'll probably have to figure it out, especially if I ever want to join a game jam or like make people play my damn game. Probably would be nice to have some Windows stuff for it, especially the hacking game, because I'm planning to do that one long term, though I haven't started, but yeah. Let's get it to work on Linux and Mac first, and then bother with the shitty one. Okay, well, yeah, and like I said, today we're using the Kate editor. Did I just see someone's chat name is Kate? Oh no, Katzy. Okay. I read that as Kate. I was very surprised that you came in right as I started opening the Kate editor. The Kate Advanced Text Editor. If you're using Raylib with GLFW, it should be fine, right? Famous last words. IDK. Just don't use syscalls. No, it just uses libc for any syscalls. So I'm assuming, hoping that I don't have to do anything extra. Just I'm assuming the compiler toolchain is gonna have to be different. Okay. Again, let's get it to work on Linux first, which is my main development environment for streams, and on Mac, which is my main development environment in general. Raylib uses GLFW under the hood by default on regular desktop environments. Okay. Remote desktop thing. Interesting. All right. Need to go outside to get food. Sorry to hear. Okay, so this is the cross-platform library. It's literally just these two files. Very, very simple stuff. We got syscall.c, which does some translations from my way of doing things to the way that Raylib does things. Inside system for outside. Isn't that just like Uber Eats? That's pretty much what you want. Okay, yeah. So this file simply translates my way of doing things to the libc way of doing things. Well, to the Raylib way of doing things, because for the most part, the translation that's being done is this one. The one for drawing stuff. And then there's raw graphics, which just handles the actual drawings. Although, to be fully precise on how to do this properly, these functions, I have to say, in terms of how it looks, Z is already looking better. X11 and Wayland? Interesting. Okay, ideally, I would want to make it like as native as possible. I don't want you to have to install anything to play a damn game, because nobody's going to do that. Turns out. Shocking, I know, but nobody's going to want to do that. So yeah, there's that. Try to set up the LSP, surely it won't be hard. Okay. I don't trust you, but okay. Another thing I like about Zed, you just use the compile commands. I can just use bear, which I've already learned how to set up on all my projects, and actually I've already set up in all my projects. Well, not really. I've set it up on Linux. On Mac, there's a tiny bit of extra setup, but it's not... Actually, no, not anymore. I did fix it so that I don't have that problem anymore. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's the syscalls.c, which simply just like calls puts from libc, free from libc, exit, which is commented out, but I'm gonna implement it right now. A function to get the current time, and a read key, which is for the input. I'm gonna be implementing these two today. And then, if I have enough time, because I'm hoping I don't have to mess with make files anymore, but maybe that takes a little bit of time. If I have enough time, I kind of want to look into the Game of Life makefile, generalizing that and making it as simple as possible to build redacted OS and cross-platform apps with all the dependencies that are needed, all the stuff that's needed with just one makefile, which I'll probably have to make external to the project. I'll have to look into that, but yeah. Anyway, I just want to simplify the process of building apps for both my system and cross-platform. Also in a way that I don't have to do what I'm currently doing anytime that I change the way that my system loads apps, or I add new functionality to that, or I'm doing cross-platform. I have to change the makefile in every single project I'm working on, and that's a pain in the ass. So if I find a way to standardize that as much as possible, that would be ideal. No one made C without a linker? What do you mean? Also, no, I'm not about to learn NeoVim. I've pretty much disqualified NeoVim, actually. Yeah, about the war, I was going to say the war on text editors. That's not quite what I'm doing. The text editor war, the text editor battle that I have going on, the code editor battle. Sublime, Helix, and Emacs got eliminated in the first round. Their default configuration was not good enough to convince me. NeoVim got eliminated because of lazy Vim. It might stick around as a terminal code editor because it is nice if Micro doesn't win, which it might. Although, you know, the cool thing about Vim, not NeoVim, but Vim being integrated into pretty much all systems by default, well, Windows and Linux, Mac and Linux, right? Yep. Is that learning how to use Vim or NeoVim means that I can quickly do editing inside a basic text editor that I'm familiar with from the terminal on any machine. Make cross doesn't work because of audio? What do you mean? I'm not having any issues with it, so please let me know. What about Sea Lion? Yeah, I'm just picking a text editor because I don't want to use... Isn't this paid? Why do I feel like this is paid? No, free for non-commercial use. I guess it's not fully paid. But no, I'm good with the ones that I have. It's extremely bloated, but yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, so NeoVim, it's not necessarily like I'm never going to touch it again, but it's not going to be my daily editor. Zed, I tested it yesterday, very much makes it to the next level. Micro is going to get tested tomorrow. Kate, it's your turn today that I decide whether I like you or not. I'm going to use Kate for the entirety of the stream, and then Micro tomorrow. That's going to be fun, going back to a terminal text editor. You know how much I love those because I love the terminal. Actually, the other day on Twitter, I saw a bunch of shortcuts for the terminal, which were really useful, and I forgot every single last one of them. There's a way to actually go to like the beginning and the end, which I don't remember. Zed I really liked, I have to say. Zed is... I have already spoiled it. Zed is most likely gonna be the winner. I was having some issues with auto formatting, but I was able to turn them off at like the last minute before I said, nah, fuck this. Gives me a bunch of cast from pointer to integer of different size. In audio? Which branch are you on? Are you on the latest changes? Which, by the way, at this point, you shouldn't have to make any changes to run on Windows, even if you don't have VirtIO 9p. What do you mean it's a multiplayer one? Okay. Yeah, so today I'm going to be implementing input. I'm going to be implementing get time, halt, but halt just is going to be very simple. Just pull master. Okay, let me look into it a bit. Look into that to see if it fails. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, what you need to do is you need to compile the operating system with make cross. And then you need to compile the redxlib, and then you need to compile the other thing. Oh, I don't know which one you're talking about. Actually, you maybe just be talking about make cross for the system. A little weird, but maybe... Yeah, this seems to compile fine for me. And it is compiling audio stuff. Zoom and Google Docs built in. I just want to text editor to edit text, bro. It shouldn't be this fucking hard. Host a server where others can join and co-edit. Are you serious? So stupid. Okay, from here I don't think there's anything left to implement. Yes, there is. What the fuck am I talking about? I have to implement text drawing. I have to implement images. Yeah, so there's still a bit to do. And like I said, I want to make it somewhat easy to just build and keeping your makefile up to date. Might be an MSys specific thing. Sounds like it because it seems to work fine for me. Let me just test on Mac real quick. Just make sure that it does compile. Also, make sure that you didn't get like some old audio stuff. Or some weird flags. That's also an option. And if not, just try to compile without all warnings as errors. That's probably gonna work. All right, so the easy one to implement is... Actually, what does the exit libc exit looks like? Void exit with an int status. Okay. So that's just a simple translation from halt to exit. Not sure why I called it halt. Yeah, we'll just build that, and then we'll also need to build redxlib. And it's not like I can do anything, but it does compile. Now, about getting the current time in milliseconds. Of course, it's just stupidly complicated. Why does it have to be so complicated? This is Rust. Get time? Is that it? Just get time? W error and then in F permissive? Yeah, that's a little weird. Your compiler must just be a little bit different. Why would I do anything keyboard based only? Am I wrong to think that they've overcomplicated getting time? There's time.h. You gotta be kidding me. It's literally a simple system register. Why does it have to be so complicated? I genuinely thought it was just gonna be like get time. Actually, it's not just C time stuff that is terrible. It's just time stuff in every programming language. I haven't seen a single one where I'm like, hey, they actually made it really straightforward to work with dates and time. Not one. It helps you when you don't touch the mouse. Right, because I control my computer through two main peripherals, so it helps when I don't use one of them. Specifically, that all modern software has been built around. Every time library is like 10 layers of overcomplication. My system is literally this. It returns the current time in milliseconds. I don't believe it does Unix time, if I'm not completely mistaken. It just gives you time since startup, but it doesn't matter. It gives you milliseconds. Yeah, so my sound alerts are not working. Okay, so it is clock get time. I don't even remember what mine returns, to be honest, so maybe let me look at that. Although I know the way that I use it, but I would want them to work in more or less the same way. Okay, that would be in kernel process syscall get time timer now msec, which okay, pretty easy to navigate. Kate. Though that's not what I was going for. Where is the implementation of this function? I'm finding where it's being called. Oh, wait. Current project, please. Thank you. It's in timer.c. Here it is. It's timer now, which is the value of this register. If I'm not mistaken, it is since the system started up. It just returns that. Not Unix time, but... so ugly. Get time of day. Raylib has a call for since the program started. Oh, if Raylib has that. Get time in seconds since init window, because it's a double. Right? Helpful. Pretty helpful. Problem is since init window. That's not quite right. Because I wanted to make it available before you initialize the window as well, because in the game engine I do those two things like one after the other, but I don't remember the order, and honestly it shouldn't matter. Although it should still work. So yeah, this might just work. Okay, Raylib has get time then. Yep. And I do my own delta time stuff, so I don't need you to... Did you just close my other project? Oh, no. How does this work exactly? Because I'm only seeing one tab of Kate open here. Oh. Oh. Oh, I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that. Okay. I didn't copy. Okay. I didn't copy. All right. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be floored, and it's gonna be multiplied by 1,000 to make it milliseconds. Why is it flashing orange bottom left? Why is it flashing orange bottom left? Failed to find the server binary clang D. Please check your path for the binary. Cool. Anywho. Right. There. That's good. And then it doesn't do anything, of course, because this one doesn't use the time. But good to have it. All right, let's actually use the time now. We're gonna open the third project. I like that it doesn't open them in different windows and I can just pick them from here. I'm sure there's a keyboard shortcut for that. No such file or directory UI draw.h. Keep in mind, this is very much built for my own project structure, which is that I have the redxlib and OS with those exact names in the exact same directory. So UI draw.h, it needs to be in the same directory as redxlib, OS shared. And then that path. Okay, I forgot which one it was. Okay, Game of Life. No, just Game of Life, bro. Just open this directory. You're just gonna open... What is happening? This directory. That's it. Just open the directory. Oh, I'm open file. Okay, I just realized. Open folder. It's a little bit slow, I have to say. This editor is not really amazing. I noticed it even before the stream and everything. It was just slow. No, and I went to the wrong folder, didn't I? Holy hell, it's slow as hell. Why isn't there just open? Because things have to be overcomplicated. You know how it is. All right. Oh, actually, interesting. All the... I like that. I don't know if I like it if this is going to be useful. It's useful right now to have all the files that I'm working on all 3 different projects open at the same time. Is that useful in other cases? Can I not open a new window? Yes, I can. It just opened on the screen, but yeah. Cool, I guess. Okay, because what I want to do is I want to call fb draw string, which I didn't mean to copy as a HTML, I just want to copy it as a reference. Have about 50 warnings, but it worked. I'm surprised that the Windows toolchain is apparently so good. Apparently that it gives you all those warnings. Alright, cool. Glad it worked. Alright. Yeah, copy as HTML is really cool because it actually copies... Look at it. The color, the background, everything of the else. Which obviously you didn't see it rendered, but yeah. Linux people do overdo it. Not sometimes. Most of the times, I feel like. Alright, so I'm gonna want to draw a string that right now it's just gonna be hello. It's gonna be drawn at 10, 10. It's gonna be drawn with a scale of 2 and a color of white. Okay, which right now isn't gonna do anything except for compile and work. Yeah. So I'm gonna want to implement that. Though I'm pretty sure I'm not drawing any strings anywhere. But this is not just for games. I plan on using it for everything. So I need this function implemented as well. In arraylib, draw text, here it is. Okay, the call is about the same. The only weird thing, this one's on me to be honest. It's entirely on me. Is the fact that I do scale instead of font size. That's... I probably need to fix that and start introducing proper fonts into my system. So yeah. We'll get to that. But for now... Okay. Control... That's kind of interesting. I have to say, Kate does a lot of things differently, and I'm not sure if I like them or not. It's going to take a little bit of time to figure out. But for example, if I do control and arrow, it goes to immediately to the next word, but then it goes to size, which is really useful, but sometimes it's going to be annoying. But anyway, let's say like a default of 16 times the scale, which is 1, 2, 3, like that. And then I have a convert color function, which just does that automatically for me. All right. We gotta recompile. Hello. That was easy. Now, about drawing raw characters, I feel like that's a function that I'm not gonna use. But like... They don't have a function for it, do they? I can get away with not implementing it because the only reason that function is implemented is to then be called internally by drawString. It's very unlikely that you will draw a single character. But just for the sake of completion, I should. But, oh well. Guess we're not going to be completionists today. Also, 16 is too small. Let's do at least 24. And now we can test both the time and the place. The time and the text in one single place. Isn't draw char just draw text with a single char? Yeah, but you have to convert the char to an alternated string. I'm assuming you have to do that. Maybe they're smart enough to not do that, but I don't know. Maybe it's gonna draw garbage. Actually, let's find out. What happens if I pass you, for example, just a single character? You will probably not compile, right? It compiles, but it's seg faults. Okay, so that's what would happen essentially. It doesn't do garbage, it just seg faults. Yep, makes sense. Okay, we're gonna create a new string with string format. Hello, and then we're gonna print the formatted get time current value. We're gonna put the string's data, and then we are gonna free sized the string with string mem size, kind of like that. Add 2char array on the stack. Again, I feel like I'm not even gonna use that function. Like, not a big deal. What? Yeah, mem size is not right. And this should have been mem data. But shared SDD string data and mem length, not mem size. Right, there's no clearing happening. So instead, we're gonna want to do a little fb fill rect at the context 10, 10, 200, what the hell? 30. BG color. And that way we'll clear what's underneath. All right, and there we have it. So we see that time works and strings work. Cool, that was easy. That was easy. All right, I like working with Raylet. Not sure how it is in terms of optimization behind the scenes, but it's pretty cool. That was incredibly easy to implement. We might even be able to move on to try to run the ghost game today. Because I'm running out of functionality to implement with this very simple example. Actually, the text thing I had to hack together myself. I actually am out of things to implement with this very simple functionality. With this very simple game, because the only input that it has is escape, which is already handled by Raylive itself. So that kind of sucks, but yeah. Okay. Before we get to that point, it has override mode. Cool. Press ESC to escape the game of life. Damn it, I'm still here. So right now I'm working on a cross-platform library to run the games that I've been making for my operating system on Linux, Mac, possibly Windows. We'll see. Someone's trying right now. We'll see how that goes. A lot of warnings, apparently. Okay, I'm done with this project, the game of life. So I think we're gonna move on to the ghost game, which has a lot of more complex things. It has vector math. It has images. That's it. That's pretty much all it has. So can I quit an entire project? Yes. And it just closes that. That's amazing. I love this. I love this functionality. Kate, you're doing amazing. Okay. I just staged it without looking at it. Eesh. I have to click, seriously? Okay, so I implemented, well, I moved these functions over. And I implemented the string function. Yep. And in syscall, I have to click show diff for every single file. Ooh, that really sucks. Kate, come on. Just as I started praising you. As a chill, out of your way look, it feels very out of your way. Not gonna lie, between Zed and Kate, it's a close one. It's a close one. Kate has a lot of really cool functionality. I implemented exit, I implemented get time. Thank God for raylib having that, because if I had to do it with just libc, it's just dumb. I just like the blending the projects together and then still being able to manage like which files you have open. That's really cool. The diff stuff is really dumb. All right, both are staged. Let's commit. Write a commit message. Copy as HTML. That one's pretty cool. It's completely useless. Who's gonna want to copy as HTML? But you know, we gotta do. Wait, hold on. Wait, what happened to copy as HTML? There. Paste. We're gonna save this one as just. It's slow. That's one thing that really bothers me about it. On the mailing list of Kate developers. That's pretty cool. It's like a very niche thing, but it's pretty cool. It's the exact same look that it has here. Same colors, same theme. It's almost like taking a screenshot. Because why else would you use this? It's cool, but utterly useless, I have to say. But it being slow is kind of a pain in the ass, I have to say. The thing I like is the unified projects. Does Zed have that? I have no idea. All right, well, either way. We've done the library and no changes in the operating system. Okay, so now I get to just open the Ghost game. And this is where I have to change its makefile. Can I get away with just copying the makefile from the game of life to here? That open in... This is Zed, isn't it? Why am I not seeing it here? This is Zed. Yes. Oh, there you are. All right, copy this makefile, paste it here. Zed is much, much better looking. I can't lie. Okay, so we're gonna go out of the game of life and into Ghost game. And make clean. And we're gonna make cross. And write the game engine. So it's 4 projects that we're working on at the same time. Operating system, cross-platform development, engine, and game. Cool. One more detour. Where are you? Here you are. Open with Kate. Ah, fuck. But it opened in a different tab. That's not what I want. Script, open with detour. select. There it is. Okay. So I messed up in copying the makefile, because now it doesn't include all of the other makefile stuff, like the engine. So you'll need to also include detour. And then you'll need to also link detour.a. Right, that should be enough. Yep. Except I haven't updated detour or the ghost game to fix the changes that I made throughout the place. Okay, actually, about that memset warning that it says here, this is so stupid. This is so incredibly stupid. Memset is a function that sets a memory to a specific byte value. So when I implemented initially, I implemented it with void pointer, int size. Except I then made the mistake of implementing it per 32-bit value. So it copied a 32-bit value into memory. That's not right. It copies an 8-bit value, a byte value. So I explicitly changed it to be uint8. Now it complains because it's a different type. Fuck off. So libc is wrong here, because sure, when it was made, int was an 8-bit, but like that's not the case anymore, and it hasn't been updated to be explicitly a uint8 or a byte value or a char or whatever you want to call it. That would have just been so useful, but no. Instead, it's a 32-bit value of which 24 bits are ignored. And if I wanted to make it explicit to avoid issues like the one that I had, I'm in the wrong now, and I have to fix that. Amazing. Love that. Well, first off, I want to search in the current project for strlen. No uses of that. strn cmp. Okay, no string functions have been implemented. Free. Well, here, actually. Nope. Here. Yep. Okay, so free actually became free sized. The rest stays the same, except the memset call. It's actually not here. Interesting. It's in the ghost game itself. The ghost game itself calls strlen, and this argument is no longer there. Okay, and then free. No matches for that. We're not freeing any memory. Amazing. Love to see that in a game. We're actually not allocating any memory dynamically in the game, so there's also no freeing memory happening. Hold on. Detour is not set up to be compiled cross-platform. This shouldn't be too difficult. Essentially, we just have to set arch to nothing. Actually, this is not even included, so we'll get rid of that. And just do cross. It's going to be make all with arch none. Like that. Okay. Oh, but this freestanding no std lib needs to go as well. Should be in this make file. I can just copy the code from it. Here it is. "50 linker errors. Yeesh. MSys2 might not work with Raylib. Well, someone else in the comments said that it does, so I'm just not sure. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Okay, there. Now we're no longer compiling with freestanding, although we're also not compiling at all, so there. And of course it complains about memset, because fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. This is such a stupid thing. My function is objectively better than the libc function. But I can either change its name to something less universal than memset, or make it conform to the useless memset implementation, memset header. And it's gonna be the second one. It's gonna have to be the second one. There's nothing I can do about it. God, this is so dumb. It hurts to do. See, I have an explicit memset32, which sets a 32-bit value into 32-bit chunks of memory. But memset sets an 8-bit value into 8-bit chunks of memory. Oh, this is destination. Okay, byte. Can just modify byte to have a mask explicitly. I hated that. But at least I don't have any more warnings. Yay. So happy. Alright, and now we should be able to make a cross. I forgot to actually include the game engine in the game. So that would be detour A. It's right here. But it clearly didn't work. Okay. This one has a package.info, so we can uncomment this, by the way. And then make, okay, arch includes crosslib with raylib, mathlib, making the directory, and then gcc. Wait, which makefile is this? Makefile for ghost game. Okay. Which includes, yeah, detour. But that's clearly not here. All right, makefile time. Makefile bullshit time. Damn it. Hey, hard worker. Bro, what are you doing? Jester! What's going on? Come here. Come. Alright, give me a second. Alright. He was aggressively scratching his ear. I don't want him to damage it. He also doesn't have paws. He has claws. That shit is sharp. I gotta look out for him. Okay, when you make cross, you make out. No, you execute out. You make all, which prepares and then compiles. Oh, there's an ad running. Forgot about that. Which should have echoed arc and it didn't. But also, like, there's only one place in which I'm... Why was that so difficult to select? There's only one place in which I'm calling GCC. So it absolutely has to come from here. Doesn't really work. It's also in full screen for some reason. It also didn't compile. No, it did compile. Setup.c? Huh? What? This is so incredibly messed up. This is wrong. This does not correspond to this. What makefile are you using? I don't know what's happening with this. But it's clearly not listening to what I'm telling it to do. Needed to link to OpenGL. LG. Oh, okay. One thing, by the way, is that my relib is statically compiled. So it's then statically linked. I'm assuming it also statically links all those libraries, because I don't have to do any of that. But I don't know. Like, this is fine, right? OS shared. O0. Okay, this is the C flags, which then gets the includes like redxlib. Then the rest are empty. But then it has this C and this O, which are wrong. It does not match what I'm seeing here. These are entirely different makefiles. How is that possible? This is an entirely different makefile that it's executing from the one that it's actually supposed to execute. Wait. Are you running from this makefile? Oh my god. No? No, it's not. Master branch relib. Yeah. Wait. Maybe this shouldn't be here. It's actually doubled. Oh wait, no, that's different. That's for the run command. No, genuinely, what is happening? It's executing an entirely different makefile. This command, it just pulled it out of its ass. Yeah, that was not it. It's N. N is what I'm looking for. Make arch includes redxlib, crosslib, libraylib, lm, entering directory ghostgame, mkdir, ghostgame.red, mkdir, resources, cp resources, ghostgame.red. Why is it every time there's always fucking makefile bullshit happening? Then this is the correct command. This is very much the correct command, I believe. It tries to compile game.c, setup.c, main.c. It also links to the shared library to detour, and it includes redxlib, libraylib, libshared, detour into ghostgame.red, ghostgame.elf. It then chmods that and finishes build, leaving directory, does not do this, and just executes the elf file. Okay, so if that's what happens when I run make cross, why is that not what happens when I run make cross? Am I having a fucking brain aneurysm right now? Apparently, because the brain is not found. I swear to God. I don't understand where it's getting this command. Are we in a weird shell? Bro. Wait. Where are you coming from? What the What? Who called you? CC to compile OBJ? Oh, it's compiling it multiple times. I understand now as to why it's compiling it multiple times and just randomly removing arguments. I don't even want to know. But essentially, you don't do that. And now, it is going to compile game C. Okay. So I just do make cross and A. Alright. Insane. A fucking thing with this project. Okay. Undefined reference to read event, get mouse status. Those two, essentially. Kind of surprised to see that I'm using the mouse in this game. I don't remember doing... Oh yeah, to scroll. I forgot about that. Right. Okay. Alright, we're back on track. So, I need to implement these two functions. Read event and get mouse status, both of which are input. So we're not going to have any input until I do that. Then again, I don't have any input already. Here they are. Read event looks like this, and get mouse status looks like this. I just need to implement stubs for these two libraries. I mean, for these two syscalls. There we go. So boolean for this, it is just going to return false. Input system is currently not working. And then get mouse status is going to also just return, just do nothing. That means we're not going to have any input, but it is going to compile. Except I'm missing a header for mouse input, which I can get from mouseinput.h. There's pretty sure I also need to include the other one. Oh no, input key codes. That's not necessary right now. All right. Okay. Cross-platform library compiled. Game engine compiled. Game still missing stuff. Oh, right. I haven't implemented resizing. I forgot that we're doing resizing in this one. And I'm pretty sure it's also going to complain about the vector stuff. If not, it's just not going to work. I think maybe I implemented some stubs for it, but it's just not going to work. All right, so Jester, can you not? Jester, please. Okay, is there a resize window? Image resize. Is window resized? I don't have the option to resize a window. Set window, min size, and max size. I can do these two. Wait, that's not the syscall though. It should include the new size. Yeah. With these two. Okay. Width and height. And then because I want the window to be precise, I can do the exact same thing with the max size. That's one complaint. And the other one was... No, that's it. Wait, you need to recompile everything? Hey, okay. Damn. It compiled. It failed to open image. That sucks. But, cool. Alright. It compiled my game. Also, I need to change this title. I don't currently have a status bar in my system. I don't have a way to close windows, and they don't have a name. So I don't even have a system for that. Not even just a visual thing. It's just like that's not a thing in my system. So I'm just gonna call it redxlib. Because the applications themselves don't have a way to set their name, so we do what we can. But you know, raylib test window was not a great name for it. All right. Images were not loading, none of them. It says failed to open image in every single one of them. Pretty sure that's just because of How did you even try to open images exactly? There's no code for that. I'm a little bit scared. Because, how did you try to open the images and failed? I'm a little surprised by that. Unless there is a, check that's happening before that. I'm not sure where that failed to open. That's not from here. Is it from Detour? I can do search in all projects. I'm liking Kate. I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking Kate. It's a tough one between Kate and Zed. I like the way that I can do multiple projects in Kate. That's the error, right? Failed to open image. When the result to the open syscall is not success. The question is how how did you do any of that? Open is not implemented as a syscall anywhere. It's explicitly disabled here. None of this gets compiled. So the implementation of the open, read, write, close is not happening. It's also not in here. And if it exists in libc, it shouldn't. It should be f open. Are you serious? There's a straight up open. It's a syscall. As to why it's in libc, I don't know. But also, why do I not get a warning about it? I feel like I should be getting a warning that it's not valid. Don't you hate on your life for coding in C? I would hate myself more for coding in Rust. Or any language that is more complex than C. Absolutely no. I like it. Quite a bit, actually. So I'm a little bit confused as to what's happening exactly. Python? No. Petition denied. It's a little weird that this happens to be called open with a const char path flags. I'm not passing an int. I'm passing a uint64. Here's open. It's an entirely different syscall here. But most likely what I'm going to want to do is rename these again. Because f open, f read, f write was already a libc thing. with a completely different implementation from just open, by the way. These are just completely different things. So I'm just gonna call them that. Christ. Now I have to go through the entire system, be like open, search, and everywhere that I implemented that function, I'm gonna have to rename it to openf. Which, not sure if Kate is able to handle that right now. I mean, I don't see why not. Nope. 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 Yep. Yes. Yep. 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 Nope. All right. I think I did them all. Is it supposed to only compile syscalls and ignore raw graphics? No. It does both. Okay, I think I did it right. The only thing is syscall open. Which is in process syscall.c syscall open. On Windows. Let's leave Windows for later. I don't know what to do about Windows. Oh, I renamed all of them already. Why did you not find this one before? Image. Okay, there we go. I gotta do the same thing for read. Right. F, close F, close F. Lord, what a pain in the ass. Not this. Read F. Am I not closing this file? Yep, I'm not. Nope. 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 No. 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 Also no, I think. No. No. Yes. Read F, and anywhere that I use the file descriptor, it is going to be close F as well. Read F. Close F. Might as well take advantage to see all the places where I'm not closing files. DMA, none of that here. Yeah, you can do a command git to find the source code. Syscall readf. There's also readf, write F, close F. Close F, write F, read F. Theme, read F. Another place where I'm not closing the damn file. Read F. Read F. Read F, read F, read F. That should be it. Read F. Read F. Close F. Forgot to do the same thing here. PNG. Read. And then I'm realizing if there's an error, I'm not really closing. Read, close. Terminal, read, close, close. All right, is that it? Almost. Okay, quick question. If I'm checking in all open projects for the read open parentheses, why am I being told that there's still more read open parentheses that are not actually being detected? Oh no, it was. I just ignored it. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought it was a Kate thing, but no, it's just a me thing. Close F. I still don't know how to feel about Kate. I like the way that they're doing certain things, and I don't like the way that they're doing certain other things. What's the error here? Right. Right. God damn it, more. 52. Right F. Pretty much the only place where writing is even being used is the audio driver. Integer cast warnings on Windows come from you using unsigned long for Uint62. On Windows, that's 32-bit. Right, because Windows is stupid. Oh my god. Forgot about that little detail. Yeah, so you have to recompile with long, if I'm not mistaken. Which I'm pretty sure I can also do. I do use long in a lot of other places, but not there. That is just so dumb. Oh yeah, hold on. Nope. Undefined reference to read F. Wait, in the kernel syscall. How do you search for files specifically? File actions, maybe? Nope. Edit. Find. Not quite. Not quite. If I have to choose right now, I'll choose Z. Kate is good, but it has a few little issues here and there. So did Z, and I ended up fixing them through configuration, so who knows. Yeah, these haven't been updated. Edit? Nope. Still undefined references. No. Okay, that was old. Okay, system compiles. With that ridiculous change that I had to make. redxlib compiles. Detour compiles. Ghost game does not compile anymore. Great. No emulators like MSys used. It works. You both got it working at the exact same time. Undefined reference to open F, read F, close F. Finally, okay, we got it. All right. I don't like this editor at all. Oh my god. Yeah, if I have to choose, I'm going with Z. But Kate, you're putting up a good fight, but I don't like this too much. The main thing I like about Kate is being able to open multiple files, multiple projects in the same window, and it still being knowing which is which. I can close the entire project and it closes all the windows related to that. But this, absolutely horrifying right here. Yeah, you know what? I am using Z just for the Git stuff because I made a ton of changes and it would take me forever to go through them with Kate right now. Whereas this, I just see all the changes that I made very quickly. Very quickly, actually. Alright, it was that easy. Stage all. At least this part I'll do with Kate. But yeah, that would have taken me quite a long time. Seems a bit off for you. I'm assuming that's kind of normal. It's still a bit off, to be fair. It's not even done. Okay. OS, I need you to close this diff right now. And I need to go to just syscalls. I need to take these three. And I need to implement them in redxlib. I'm not entirely sure how. But at least they have stubs. Recompile the library, and it complains about file not existing. Wait. How is my syscall implementation not including the syscall header? And I didn't realize until now. That's incredible. No, I didn't put a semicolon here. I put a colon. Cool. And then conflicting types for halt. Have void int. Is halt not a void int? Halt is a void uint32. It actually isn't supposed to be a uint32. How am I handling it in the system itself? Yeah, this is supposed to be an int32, not a uint32. Because the process's exit code is a uint64. It's supposed to be a uint32. Alright, so recompile the system. Recompile redxlib. No problems now. Recompile the engine. Nothing should have changed. Recompile the game. Compiles. Of course, fails to open the images. Cool. Alright, more changes in the system now that I need to. This alone makes me not want to use it. This one thing alone. Did you make more changes to my line endings? Don't fucking do that. Oh god. Kate is disqualifying itself. Just like Zed almost did, but I feel like enough people in the chat got me helped me with the configuration to the point that I didn't have this problem anymore, but what even is the change that happened here? And how do I undo it? I don't want this change. Oh my god, this is trash. Yeah, no. Okay, can you get this out of my fucking way? Thank you. Discard. That, what the fuck did that just do? Alright, Zed, I need you again. Oh my god. What the fuck? How did I unstage this change and I ended up with 2 of it? With the change still there. Actually, make it explicitly int 32t. There. There and there. Well, I didn't change the scheduler. So I kind of need to do that. There. Yeah, it's not gonna work. What do you mean there's still undefined reference? Oh my god. Oh, wait. Wrong editor. First off. My syscalls, I forgot to update them. Open F, read F, write F, close F. How did that compile the first time? Exactly. Would love to know. But seems to still load files just fine. Alright. Would genuinely love to know how the fuck this got compiled the first time. Alright, thank you again, Zed. Okay, system is compiled. Moving on to redxlib. I now added the stubs for them. And it does not compile because I forgot to do make cross. So it does compile. It eventually segfaults, but it did load the background colors there. Yeah, clear isn't working. I'll have to run a Windows machine and see what's up eventually. Let's get it on Linux first and then do that. Okay. Also, all the vector stuff is definitely not gonna work. Because there's like 2 functions that are actually implemented and 2 that are just not implemented for x86 64. I think they are for ARM. So for Mac, essentially, and I guess Linux on ARM as well works, but yeah. Most people don't have Linux on ARM. Okay. Nuke this ugly Windows VM. And I'm probably gonna have to do a Windows VM soon. I hate that idea, but yeah. Okay. Let's printf something real quick. That. I am concerned as hell. Wait. Hold on, I didn't make the change to the Ghost game. So, or the engine for that matter. Oh, I thought I did anyway, but apparently no one is opening files here? Oh yeah, no, I made those changes. Right, no, because the file's being opened by the library that loads images. I'm going to have to either replace the way that the library that does images works, or I don't know. I don't know how to do the image stuff yet. Also, I created this header file with prepare graphics and commit graphics for cross-platform in the engine alone. But now my entire library is made for cross-platform, so I don't really need this anymore. And I can simplify my code a little bit. Because now the engine runs with the exact same library on all platforms. With less Windows support than I would like, but all platforms. You can also technically compile Raylib to WebAssembly, so even web eventually will become a thing. Maybe. Who knows? Let's not go there. But maybe I can redo this thing entirely in my system. That would be cool. Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. And instead, look at where the images are being loaded. That would be in setup, I'm pretty sure. Load image. The image loading is handled by my own library. So what I'm a little bit weirded out by is that I just put some logs for that and none of those logs are showing up. Oh, but hold on, I just didn't recompile the library. Okay, the logs are here. All right, so first off, it's trying to open a file at path resources nugget bmp, which is not right. What's the easiest thing for me to do? Does Raylib have a load image? Yep. Into CPU memory. And then if I'm not mistaken, you can draw an image into another image, but you can draw a texture. And you can load the texture from image. No, but that's kind of dumb. Can I just draw an image? Image draw pixel. Why would you do it like that? Can I just draw the entire image? You can only draw textures. So I need to turn the image into a texture. And what's the point of images? I don't understand the point of images in the slightest. Yeah, most likely what I'm going to want to do is override the load image function. They are for CPU manipulation. Textures get uploaded for GPU for faster drawing. Yeah, I saw that. I guess that makes sense. I guess. Alright. So load image if and def cross. And if. I'm going to want to implement this function. Kind of like this. In my redxlib graphics. I did not give it an extension, did I? Raw image.c. Cool, open that. I'm gonna put this in. We are going to include, is it just image? Image.c, well, .h. Okay, we're gonna implement this. We're not gonna do any of the file descriptor stuff. Instead, we're just gonna use the raylib .h and load texture. I then need to return yeah, okay. Load texture from a path that I'm going to create. Fuck, how do I create this path? Damn it. Wait. Wait, no, do I want to get the current directory? That's going to be the current directory in the terminal. I want the current directory of the executable. Can I do that? Not sure. Eesh. Does raylib simplify that in any way? Yeah, I figured I need system APIs for that. Oh god. That's why I'm asking if raylib happens to have stuff for that. Because like they have this load texture with a path. How do you specify that path? Like how do you build that path? The first argument in main is technically your executable, but that's apparently not reliable. Let me see if raylib has any examples of this. In their website, they have a lot of examples. They do load 3D models at some point or another. Even here, they load images. Texture 2D, loaded from resources/ps3.png. Where the fuck is that resources? Can I just do that? Raylib has get application directory. Thank you, Raylib. Love you for that. But it seems like it might just straight up do that. Let me try this for a second. Yeah, no. Without this. No. PQ insert, PQ free, PQ pop, PQ free, PQ insert. Why are those not found? That's a new one? Wait, did I forget to end this if? No? It's right here. So may I ask, pray tell, what the fuck you are talking about? All I did was unimplement a function. Except maybe I didn't actually do that. Nope. We were doing fine. What happened? How did functions that are not in this folder get changed by this? Oh my god, I fucking hate compilation. In general, it's not even makefiles anymore, it's just compilation. Because at this point I have no idea what you're complaining about. OS shared, detour. Undefined reference to PQ insert. Which is right here, as a matter of fact, right here. I see it right here. It's implemented. No, seriously, what the fuck are you complaining about? This output thing is annoying whenever I look at it. And the diagnostics, I don't know why this symbol is there by default. Okay. So detour. You're compiling pathfinding to pathfinding.o, brain to brain.o, all those. Yep, you're doing just fine. And then somehow these functions became undefined when they were actually defined until like a minute ago. It's the magic of compilers. We love when that happens because it makes no sense. But it also complains in rescale image. No, in resize sprites about rescale image. Which, by the way, is going to be a function that probably doesn't need to do anything in Raylib. I'll see about that eventually. I also don't understand why this function is not implemented either. Why did some functions just unimplement themselves? That makes no sense. Or why Kate seems to think that I haven't made any changes to the system, even though I just unimplemented a function. This is also confusing. Wait, why does it think I made changes? Whatever. Alright, there's an ad coming up, so I'll be back in 3 minutes. Alright, I'm back. And I'm hoping common sense is also back because some functions are no longer declared after not touching them in the slightest, even forgetting that they exist. So that's cool. Love to see it. I absolutely love when compiling something turns into a whole thing. Okay, so let me try something real quick. Make clean and make this project and then make this one. And they're still gone. Despite me having changed nothing. They are gone. Forever. They're just not there anymore. Functions that I haven't touched, that were apparently being found a minute ago, are no longer being found with nothing being changed. I blame Microsoft. I don't give a shit. I just blame Microsoft at this point. I don't care. Are they to blame? Probably not. But in general, they're to blame. So, yeah. Okay, genuinely, how do you fix this? When everything was working, the files exist, they are being found, they're being compiled, everything's being done properly. How do you fix this? Compression? No, data struct, is it? PQ. PQ. Yeah, they exist. It's all being compiled into this library. Which I'm going to compile for the 50th time. And it, in fact, did get compiled. I couldn't find it, but there it is. Into this here. At which point, the implementation for some missing functions is here. At which point, the functions are being used from here. At which point, yeah. They're gone. They're just gone. How do I fix this? I have like no idea where to start on fixing this because I haven't changed anything. Nothing's changed. This is so insane. God. I don't know how to proceed. How do I find functions that are already there, that are being linked properly, that are actually being compiled properly? And I've already checked all this. That used to work until like a minute ago and no changes have been made since. Nevertheless is such a crazy word to use in a fucking editor. Okay. I just don't know what to do, really. I'm genuinely at a loss for words as to how you lose functions that haven't been touched. They're right here. All of these functions, they're right here. They're being declared here. They're being compiled into the library. Which maybe they're not. I don't know. I'm just gonna delete the library and try again. They have to be compiled into a library. They're right here. The library, which is being linked. So is detour, so is prelib, so is lm, so is spreadxlib. Header files are all there. They're all over the place, but they're all there. Are they duplicated? Could that be the issue? don't know exactly. What about redxlib? This doesn't need to implement this. These functions they're not even being used. Is it because lm is before the library? I wouldn't be surprised at this point. If I have to blame someone, it's gonna be the makefile, obviously, but I mean, this was working until like a minute ago, and mind you, I undid the changes that caused this to happen. So it just don't understand how this could possibly happen. More functions have disappeared. Mark 30. Another function that is actually implemented in the system. Oh my god. I hate the makefiles. I hate them. I hate them so much. This is so incredibly dumb. Okay. What are we doing? We're compiling with GCC stdc99g I shared I redlib. We're compiling C setup main, including shared. That shouldn't be there, but whatever. Detour. Lib shared is the first one, followed by detour. So the order there, I believe, is probably wrong. So lib shared should be last, I assume, because that one has no dependencies. Fucking hate you. I hate you, makefile. Who invented this shit? Let's go on a history lesson for find someone to blame. Now, I want a name. I want to write a strongly worded letter. No way linkers are stupid? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. No as needed? Seriously? Give me a name. It's GNU, obviously, but... How much time did I waste on this? Like... 13 minutes? Undefined reference to function implemented in shared library if put in main.cpp after options, but none of any errors when putting before options. Firstly, this is the linker doing this, not GCC. GCC just passes the arguments to the linker in the order you specify them. Secondly, this is the correct behavior. Your linker is set to default to as needed, which means that shared libraries on the command line will only get used if they satisfy a non-weak undefined reference from a regular object file that was already processed by the linker. If you put ladd before main.cpp, then there are no undefined symbols yet, so the library is just ignored. I get it, but what the fuck? That's stupid default behavior. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's for optimization. It's for optimization. The library is not being used, so we're gonna get rid of it. Clearly, you're too stupid. You're including libraries that you're not using. My god. We have to deal with like these many layers of optimization, and then there's people writing fucking React Native applications right now. Not... Fuck it. React Native start menus for their operating system. That's a thing that's being done. And yet we're stuck here working with like over-optimized bullshit. Amazing, I love this. I understand optimization of compilers, but at the same time, it's like... this is the least of our problems. I get it, but it's stupid. What can I say? I get it, but it's stupid. Alright. Well, data file successfully loaded. So we were able to load the texture. Cool. Now. I did re-enable that, right? Yes. Okay, but how did it change? That's the other question that I have. I didn't touch the make files. It was working. I touched a C file completely unrelated. It stopped working. Where's the logic in that? Okay, what's interesting is it's loading all the resources by literally just doing this. That's funny. Okay. Because I was doing a slash resources and now I'm doing just resources and yeah, it works. Oh, it doesn't tell me how many characters I have selected. That's kind of a pain in the ass. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We want to load the texture. And then what do we want to do with it? Load texture returns a texture 2D. And a texture 2D is what exactly? This cheat sheet, I don't think has declarations for these types. You can enable show line count, show word count by right-clicking on the status bar. Cool, thank you. Oh, and also line count. It's a bit useless to have that. This is the background color. Oh, these background colors. Raylib, I don't know. Yeah, so it doesn't look like they have a declaration of what texture 2D is here in the cheat sheet. Oh, here maybe? Well, absolutely useless. Absolutely useless declaration going on right here. It's also not even here. I need to find it in Raylib then. Oops, wrong editor. Yeah, in case you were wondering what the winner was gonna be. Yeah, so you didn't find what I was looking for, did you? Here. Okay, it has a width, a height, and an ID. Yeah, figured as much. Okay. So it's easy for me to do info width to, hold on, texture 2D. Wait, wasn't it a struct, by the way? Oh yeah, it's a type def of texture. Okay, got it. Fair. Although, why did they put it in their example here? Why would you use an example that isn't actually real? Whatever. Width, height. Okay. Here's the problem, though. When I load an image, my engine is expecting the data for the image, which then gets resized and then gets drawn. Sure. But what it returns is an ID. So I don't have a problem doing just return a void pointer to the 2td ID. T2D. Okay, that's a weird variable name that I gave it. Perhaps they renamed it and didn't change any conventions. Feels like it, most likely, yeah. Because also, why would you have a texture 2D? It's just a texture. So I can just work by ID the whole time. I'm hoping that works. There's also all of these functions actually need to not be implemented because they are stuff that is not going to be handled by us anymore. In fact, all of the image loading is not going to be handled by us anymore. But the rescale image, this function, I'm going to implement in redxlib as just an empty function. It's not going to do anything. Because I'm assuming in ArrayLib I don't need to actually do stuff like this. And then when I'm told to draw an image, which I'm doing by calling draw partial image, draw texture, was it? I'm going to have to create my own texture struct. To do the translation. I'm not sure about these values. I don't have those. And then I can do raw texture to D text. Okay, that's the name of it. No, it's just draw texture. It's a bit dumb, but maybe it'll work. Oh, right. X, Y, and no tint. Right, no, is clear a thing? Nope. How did I do it in the ArrayLib example? White. I forgot some commas here and here. And there is a whoops. There is a warning, but I'll fix that later. Undefined reference to str start. You're not fucking doing this again. You're not doing this again. You're not doing this again. You can't do this to me. Not sure why I did that, and I didn't change anything. The shared library is the last one I'm putting in. Should it be the first one that I put in? No, because then it would get ignored. Did I just do it wrong? Is it not str start? That's a possibility. Except it would tell me that I did it wrong. Yeah, because this is not a compiler error. This is a linker error. Well, no, what I mean is it finds the declaration of the function, just not the implementation of it. Right? str start case and str start, which is in fact in a header file. So you should find it. You should really find it. Because it is literally inlined. So either way, I should be using the not inlined version of it. C or C++. This is only C. All of this is just for C. Because it needs to be case insensitive, actually. So maybe there I saved some implicit declaration. Okay. All right, that's a different story. That's a different story. Okay. I can get behind that one. Then I just need to do this. This is not the first time I include this header, and yet somehow the first time that this header has this warning. I don't think it did before. But simple fix. Nope. Of course not. It's never that easy. Where exactly was I redefining it? Actually. So if I'm never including that header, why the fuck is it being redefined? What are you talking about? Why are you like this? That's back. Okay. VA start redefined. Because it's an stdarg.h. So I'm going to need to, okay, what I did. What just happened? If and def cross and if else include stdargs.h and if. That's not the name of it, is it? Arg. Okay. We see that, right? It's missing a pragma once, but we see how I have, in fact, not defined this anymore. This is no longer a thing. If and def cross. This is not being... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Redxlib is not defining cross. Yep. Which means that when it includes the header, it doesn't do this. Oh my god. What even is... Does this have a type? It's just a function, isn't it? Tester, please. I don't want to have to define that everywhere. I'm hoping it's good enough to define it here. Again, why hasn't this been a problem until now? I don't know. But just for reference, how am I refining cross here? I am not, in fact, defining it here. I'm defining it here. Cross is decross. That's what I need. Thank you. Please don't be weird about this. Okay, it wasn't weird about this. Cool. Now, about this pointer shit that I'm doing. I don't know about this. This void pointer stuff. It does kind of work. It's doing something. It's loading textures and it's giving them an ID. And then I'm telling them to draw those textures, which is drawing something. but not quite the textures that it should be drawing. Whoops. That's in redxlib that I'm doing it, right? No, no, I'm not. Oh, yes. Here. Hmm. Yeah. Doing that wrong. I'm passing the pointer instead of the value. Nope. No, that's not any better. Hold on. I'm not sure if this texture that's returned is allocated or it's not. I don't think it is because this is not a pointer. So what do I do to store it? Because I need to store it when I do load image, and then I need to draw it eventually. I don't want to have to malloc it. I might have to malloc it. There. Return the pointer to the texture. And then in the graphics, get the pointer to the texture. At least it's cleaner code, I guess. Then dereference it to draw the texture. How's that for you, Raylib? You like that? Implicit declaration of... Right. Okay. Oh, come on. Seriously? The sizes are being handled properly because load texture is working well. I got really lucky, by the way, that I used the exact same like format and the exact same kind of like hack that Raylib uses for the paths. That's pretty cool of them. It should be drawing texture, but that works. Shh. That was the wrong format, wasn't it? The format for running my game with GDB is this one instead of this one. I forgot the word run. The fact that you're downloading shit. Nano sleep. Why did I think? For a second I was doing anything useful here. No, wait. No, don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. I want you to tell me what is in this texture. Nothing. All right. Starting to understand. Okay, so. Actually, let's just do this, X this, and do PTR with PTR, right? And see if that prints anything useful. And not print the other thing. Don't want that. (64 by 64, 256). Yeah, those are the correct sizes. So that is being copied over. But clearly not everything is. Red xlib. Raw graphics. Okay, you're gonna tell me what you find inside of the texture ID. Some of them have an ID, some of them don't. Wait. Yeah, seems like it. Okay. Loaded texture. All of them have a valid ID. All of those ID match these IDs. Very much so. Except for tv.bmp, which fails to open. I'm pretty sure I saw that I removed it, apparently. But then, when it comes to rendering the textures, all these values are completely incorrect. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. These images are being rescaled. So... memcpy old... well, new image, old image, size of texture 2D, right? That's what happens when we're resizing. Hey! Alright! Look at that. Textures are there. Cool. And finally, that leaves me with, just gonna take a little Z trip to open some new files. Add folder to project. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, now we're talking. Hey, hold on. Open detour real quick. All right, do that. Then, if it does this, I swear to God, Kate is getting eliminated. Add folder to project. Redx lib. That's it. Bam. Kate, you're out. You're out. There's no shortcut for this, but you can do it. So Kate, you're out. Ghost game. Bam. And OS. Bam. And then these were changes that were made by like, okay, first off, math is not platform specific anymore. So you can kind of forget about that one. Okay, so this is the detour project. And get rid of that. Okay, that's good. Not sure what changed here, so we're just gonna restore. Not sure what changed here, so we're just gonna restore. Not sure what changed here, so we're just gonna restore. Boom. 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 But, okay, it does have one limitation, pretty sure. That the git, oh no, never mind, it doesn't have the limitation that I thought it did. Okay, I'm not sure why this file got deleted. So we're just gonna restore it real quick. Then for the ghost game, we've added the cross compilation. Literally no changes to the code except for one strlen. Boom, boom. We then go to the OS. Here, I can see that there's no changes to it. And redx lib. No changes. Wait, hold on. Oh, I can switch from here. Okay, that's so much faster. So have I not made changes to the OS? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, of course. Set is looking better and better, I'm not gonna lie. It's over for you. For the other ones. It's over for them. Sorry. I'm pretty sure Raylib probably has some file stuff, because there's more files besides textures, even just save games, which are probably gonna be done in your own format. Raylib has to be able to load, so I'm assuming it has some simple functions for that. Now I have to rely on libc for that. That's it. Boom. And finally, Ghost Game. We already did it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Zed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. The last part of Zlib is the input. I hate that they did this. They separated modules and then like there's no index or anything like that to go through them. Core, does that include input? Yes. Okay. How am I gonna do input? That's gonna be a little bit of an issue. Because my input system is event-based. Theirs is status-based, I believe, entirely. Kind of. There's key pressed, which I can do something with, maybe. Wait, hold on. It's only a pull-in API. Yeah, no, this is automation events, but it's nothing to do with that. They get compression. Cool, I can even replace my own compression with theirs. If I want to. File system, okay, there is. These exist. Cool. How do you do them? Why am I not seeing a file system open? Load file data. Okay, that's it probably. Yeah, it's a pull-in API. They do have this. They do have the get. I lost it. Okay, the mouse one is going to be easy to implement, actually. Because all I need to do is implement these. So let's start with that one. Probably here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, and I need to rely on the mouse input, which comes from the OS mouse input. Which they do floats. They do floats. No. Okay, this one's easy. In X is get mouse X. And of course, can do the same for Y. That one's an easy one to do. So these two are taken care of. The mouse wheel movement for both X and Y. The mouse wheel can move horizontally? That's a new one. Okay. You say so. I'll believe you. And you wouldn't happen to have a button. Oh, trackballs. Yeah, because Raylib was written in 1998, right? When even were mouse trackballs? Wait, are these a thing? Still? They are. I can get one on the 22nd of December. Well, an American can get this on the 22nd of December. Some weird people still use them. Not surprised. Okay. Scroll kinda sucks. Because I now need to do the get mouse wheel move. For X or Y, whichever one is larger. I wonder which one it's gonna be. In scroll, I'm gonna have to do some translation there. Right, I'm assuming they're giving -1 to 1. I'm hoping, anyway. We'll see once it actually works. So I'm gonna have to do get mouse wheel move. -1 to 1. We multiply that by 256. 255, actually. And we floor the result to get us the correct value. And need to do testing with different mouse types eventually. My support for peripherals right now is super limited. But okay, the mouse buttons. Can I assume 0, 1, 2? So I can just do in buttons equal to is mouse button pressed 0. I can probably do it in a for loop actually. Or it as is mouse button pressed I shifted by I and ended. I forgot the key for end for a second. Like that. That feels about right. Let's see. There's only one way to know. It compiles, it runs, and it... Hey, scrolls. That is super messed up. I forgot that my entire thing relies on me scaling the textures. And I'm not doing that anymore. Whoopsie. It also stopped working. It worked once and then that was it. But hey, that's something. That's something already. That's pretty cool. Also, this shouldn't be here. Not sure that was helping a whole lot. Can I just do about the texture resizing? Pretty sure I need to do this. I hope it works anyway. Yep. Okay, texture resizing was easy to implement. Easier than the mouse, anyway. Kate still thinks that I've made these changes. Alright, let me take a break for the ad break and be back in 3 minutes and continue looking at the mouse and then the keyboard, and then the actual game will be implemented, which is crazy. Okay, I'm back. And won't I need to convert relib key codes to mine? Yes, yes, I will. Yes, I will, in fact. I will, in fact, have to do that. I am way looking forward to that. Yeah. So, if only I'm hoping that they don't use the same, like, um, thing that Doom did, in which their key codes were using the exact same names as mine, but the different values. Because that was a pain in the ass for Doom. Yeah. Hoping that's not the case. Alright. So, about input. We'll need to fix the mouse first. If I start with a scroll wheel, just getting the value of this. I'm not surprised if they do, honestly. I mean, depending on how they do it, I might just replace mine. It doesn't really matter. That's 1, 0, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1, and 0, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1. You're using a fucking float just to put a minus 1 or a 0 or a 1. You could just directly put the numbers. Yeah, I don't have to use their key codes. We'll see, we'll see. Alright, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why? Why? Are you using so already that tells me I don't need to use the... Well, I need to see how I'm doing it. That would be in... input. Input dispatch. Where am I getting that? I'm not seeing it. Oh, this is all the mouse input stuff in one place. Okay. And the scroll bar has been handled by this directly. You can scroll slower than full speed. I couldn't. It's 1 or 0, 1 or 0. If I scroll fast, if I scroll slow, no. You can't. Ah, wow. Yeah, so I'm just straight up storing it here, aren't I? And then when it comes to the process, syscall mouse. It was right there. I could have scrolled it a little bit more. I get the raw mouse input. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, I mean, you would think. Because what do you mean 0 minus 1, 0 minus 1? That's so dumb. But then, how am I using the scroll bar in the game for stuff? That already answers. I'm not in the game engine. Wait, how did I just search for the same thing in all open projects and one of them returned a value but the other one didn't? It is here. I'm just multiplying the scroll by the delta time, whatever value that returns. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna do a little experiment in the operating system to see what values it returns. What was the name of it? Nope. I don't like navigating Kate, to be honest. Get Ramos input. That. Okay, printf. Scroll. That. Scroll. Did I see a 2 there, or did I make that up? I think I made that up. Alright, so it also uses... You saw 2? I feel like I saw 2 in there. Why am I only seeing zeros now? Oh, because there's so much data that it... Alright, look, most values there were 0 and 1 anyway, so we're good with that. We just need to floor it, not multiply it by 255. Just floor it. Wait, now I gotta remake cross here. Make this. Make this. Yeah, this feels more accurate for zooming in, not for zooming out. It's not letting me zoom out. I forgot that floor returns. Wait, and there's also some conversion stuff happening there. Yeah. That value is not valid. It's an 8-bit value. You need to convert it to an 8T. Now it's not doing anything. God damn it. Natively on the Pi. There's some PCI issues on the Pi 4. So I'll need to fix that eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it. Until recently, I had to fix a lot of virtual memory stuff. So now I'll start getting it to work on the Pi again. I finally can do that probably next week. Okay, scroll we said is an 8, right? Yeah, an 8. Mouse input, 8. And if I'm converting a value to an 8, why are you... I swear to God, I just hate. I don't even know what I hate anymore. I just hate it. That's all I know. GPU drivers for the Pi? I have GPU drivers for the Pi. one of the first things I implemented. Yeah, no. It only works in one direction, for fuck's sake. Is floor the problem? No, floor is not the problem. I think it's just a conversion to int. Oh, OpenGL or Vulkan? Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be useful for this type of stuff, but probably not gonna be a priority, especially since I'm implementing cross-platform. More so, the game development is gonna happen less and less on redacted directly, and it's just gonna be a secondary thing, because it's supported by Linux. So it will eventually be a thing, and then I will start doing it in redacted full time, but this game is a little bit more resource intensive than the Ghost game that I've done, the one that I'm porting right now. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Okay, but genuinely, how do I do this conversion properly? No, I don't want to cast it to an array. I just want to... That's not helpful. Okay, the value -111 in integer ends up being something like ff, 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 ff. But I need just ff. Just one of those. Right? So is it enough for me to do this and then this, for example? Nope. But the conversion, this conversion is working fine. No, it's not. What did I forget? Yeah, one parentheses. There. Okay, cross. Okay, and it's given that weird ass value. Then, what if I just make you convert to that? What's the problem with doing it this way? Oh, it's turning into a 1. Well, no, it's not turning into a 1. It's printing it as... No, that's not how you do that. Just print it as an X for a second. I need to understand what's happening exactly. Why is it 1? Wait, hold on. That's why it was a 1. Now it's a 0. Oh, I see. That is a crazy value. Why is it that value? Why is this the value of it? Some weird stuff happening. Okay, it's the conversion. It's the floor that's doing something weird with it. Alright, so I can just get rid of the floor. That's probably a little bit buggy. Alright. Zoom is implemented and all the other functions are not really being used yet by this game, but I will be using them in the other one, so if there's any bugs in that implementation, I'll find them. Okay. So I have input for the keyboard left. So the read key is a system that I'm going to be deprecating. Do I still have the 10 FPS limit? Probably. Can you? Oh, this is good. Good. Okay. Yeah, I do. It was a little bit laggy. I didn't even notice. I mean, I noticed, but I was like kind of ignoring it. What's up? I gotta put a limit in though. Seriously, Raylib? 30? 30 works fine, I guess. As to why 60 just crashes the damn thing. I don't know. This whole thing is still like glued together with glue. Alright, let me just try to do the input real quick. Okay, so like I said, the read key system using key presses is going to be deprecated, so I'm going to focus only on the read event, which is the only one that I'm using, the only one I'm planning on using in the game anyway. And I'm using in any of my libraries. There is get key pressed void, which returns an integer, right? And so I can do a do. Okay, kind of like this actually. Key equal to get key pressed while key. And then you're gonna do that. So that I feel like is gonna work for pressing keys, but it's not gonna work for unpressing keys. What did I do? Oh, expected while before void. Oh, I didn't put in the bracket. And I didn't put in the argument. So it tells me which keys are pressed. 83, 87. Okay, let me see real quick. One thing. Yeah, I didn't recompile the system, did I? Shh, those are so different from mine. Holy shit. Okay. I mean, I think they are. Key codes. Key enter 28. Theirs was like 101. So different. All right. Hell, I can change mine. Or I can just do a translation. We'll see which one is better. I love that there seems to be 0 standards followed for key codes. Where we have a very clear standard for characters, we don't have such a standard for keys. 0 semblance of a standard for that. It's just like, yeah, whatever fucking code you want. It doesn't fucking matter. Why? X11 has its own, which is just fucking insane. All of this is crazy. But anyway, another thing I didn't test is this. Are you serious? Get key pressed just tells you an event when a key gets pressed but not released? Why? Why is that a thing? It tells me when a key has been pressed, but not when the... But it's different from is key pressed. It just tells me when any key has been pressed, but not when any key has been released. What? That makes no sense, I feel like. But the way that I handled it last time I did this, essentially, was a kind of little static array like this one. And then, well, no, it was supposed to be a Boolean. Right? Then I do and then okay, I can do that, and then I can do, whoops. I don't know how to move lines, but Kate, you're not getting the job. So I'm not gonna learn towards the end of the stream, and you're not getting hired, so sucks to be you, Kate. Key presses I equal false. All right, does that work? I'd be surprised if it did. Oh, whoops. I would have definitely been surprised if that worked. Nope. Key is not released. Never released. I can do is key up. Nope. Wait. Well, that's never gonna work. That's never gonna work for 256 values. That's also never gonna work because I didn't recompile. Hey. Alright. That works. Probably 512 is too much. I just need to figure out what key codes Raylib is using. Not sure where to find that. Raylib.h, config, r gestures, gl, models, shapes, utils, textures, camera, math, platforms. Don't tell me it's different for each platform. That would defeat the purpose of it, right? The fact that these two are just completely separate websites. That exit key, okay. I can probably set this to 0 to get rid of that and handle that myself, but we'll get to that. Core input keyboard char pressed count. You get the value here. But where are the key codes? How is it possible that I have to dig this deep into a source code to find key codes? No, everything's in the raylib header. Kind of completely forgot that. There. Okay, what's the maximum value they have? 336 feels like. Okay. And then I need to do a conversion where I use the exact same names, don't I? It's looking like I do. All right. I'm gonna need Z for this one, but I can do a little something. Relive converts a platform once to theirs, and you have to convert theirs to yours. Yep. I figured they would do that, but again, why isn't this standardized? I feel like it should be. Most of our keyboards look the same anyway, and yeah, there's probably keyboards for other languages, but like directly replace yours with theirs. No. But I should be able to do a simple conversion. I am gonna use Z for this though. Well, hold on. .c or .h? How do I want to do this? I'm gonna do a .h. All right. I'm just gonna use Z because I find it somewhat easier to work with for this type of stuff. I don't necessarily have to recompile raylib. Max keyboard keys for their key arrays, which is 512 by default. I'm not seeing any values here higher than that. But hey, fair. Okay. So I want to do the key code convert, right? So I can do like that. I have to recompile my game. Yeah, but the idea is that the game does not change when the back end library changes. Here's how it's gonna work. Okay. Back to Z. Okay, that's exactly where I wanted to end up. Thank you. Oh, what the fuck just happened? Okay, it just fixed itself. Wait, there's a format for this type of stuff. Pretty sure I'm doing something similar in the syscalls. And just take inspiration from that real quick. Process. Syscall. Where's the array? This one. Yeah, you don't need to specify the name of the... That. Trying to do that. Then pragma once, and then what is my key code type? Because I'm assuming a lot of these words are going to be the same as mine, so I'm taking advantage of that. I'm hoping. I'm damn hoping that that's the case. What type am I using for the input key codes? For the keyboard input, I mean. A char. Okay, so you return a char. Raylib to redacted array made out of these values. Indented, ideally. Real quick, let me look at the syscalls. No, we're not looking at the syscalls here. Const and then I need to include input keycodes .h. And most of them already have a fuck off. Most of them already have a value. I just have to replace a few of them. All right. The only reason I can think of two key codes being different is due to keyboard layout, but it's different per platform, so who knows? Yeah, it's just that everyone just came up with this on their own. 0 is 0, so that's not gonna change. Okay, I do need to look at my key codes real quick. What was it? Period. Dot. Key dot. Key 0. Yeah, the numbers are done numerically. I'm sure there's a more efficient way of doing what I'm currently doing. I just can't think of it right now. Okay. Brackets. These, right? Left brace. And right brace. Escape is just without the ape. Page up, page down. It's without that. Caps lock. Scroll lock. Num lock. Print screen. Nope. sysrq. It's a good thing I googled it because I searched it because I never would have known. EL left shift left control. No. E left CTRL left alt left super. I don't know what that is. Shift CTRL alt. Not sure what super is. KB menu. Oh, right. Is that not mapped in my system? Props. Okay. Keypad. Why are these commented out? I know I have keypad support. Super is the key next to control. Oh. KP. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I love how here they're using numbers, but here they were using spelling out the names. KP equal. KP enter. KP add. Nope. Subtract. Nope. Subtract, multiply. Oh yeah, those are buttons too. Minus, plus, asterisk, and slash. KP slash asterisk minus plus. Okay, about the super. Windows power. Not sure how they call it here. I haven't used it, which actually I have plans for using it. I just haven't used it. Not gonna be here. Is it power? Can't think of it being anything else. Oh, meta. I think. And that leaves me with decimal, which is probably dot. KP and dot. There you go. Super simple conversions right there. All right, plug it all together. Bye, Jester. Oh, he's gonna eat. Which marks the end of the stream, pretty much. But of course, I gotta finish this first. So, on a key press event, we are going to generate the event. And that's gonna be yeah, I think it's meta. I think it's meta. If I'm not mistaken, it is. Let me see how I'm doing this keyboard event thing. Oh, there's modifiers. Ooh, which are not a thing. And okay, I'm gonna make a to-do for the modifiers. I'm not gonna bother with that right now. This pretty much is what we're trying to do in Redux lib. Here we just generate an event. Wait, actually, it's just event type. Key press. And then I already imported the, yeah. Raylib to redacted I. Whereas here, release raylib to redacted I. I got the I wrong. Oh, except it's not while do. Just kind of do it like this. Oh, and that. Hey. Oh, it glitched a little bit there. Oh yeah, all the vector stuff I said probably doesn't work, so collisions are not doing amazing. But input works. Amazing. All right. So, with that, a lot happened today. Crazy amount of stuff. Yeah, no. No changes in the game. Thank you. Pretty sure no changes in the engine. Thank you. Does it still run unredacted? I'll need to check. Yeah, include that, include that. Keycard conversions. Yeah, and then commit here. Wait, there's one thing missing. So hold on, don't do a commit. Modifiers are different. I need to keep them in mind. All right. No changes here either. Amazing. I still should git push. Okay. Everything's good. All right. So, game engine is actually going pretty well. To the point that I think everything I needed to do in order to port the game engine itself is already done, except for files, but I have images. I don't really need files right now. I will need them eventually, and obviously I want to port more stuff that isn't just game stuff, even if I am relying on Raylib. Again, Raylib is just kind of temporary right now. Eventually I want to make the whole thing, but it is difficult to make the whole thing, so for the time being we're relying on Raylib. And for the time being, kind of long term, honestly. Not planning on replacing Raylib anytime soon with my own solution. Tomorrow is game dev day. And because tomorrow is game dev day, then I will actually get to work a little bit on the engine. Not sure exactly what yet, but we're going from the graphics that we just saw to a little bit more isometric 2D type of thing. So I'm going to look a little bit into that. It would be great to have shaders in my operating system, but I'm going to have to implement a hardware renderer at the very least for Vert, and I'm going to have to implement a proper renderer for the Raspberry Pi. So that's going to be long term for the time being. Probably just going to do hardware rendering for the beginning stage of this and then bother with actual renderers. I do have to use Micro for the next stream, it's gonna be micro. It's the last one left. Sublime, Helix, and Emacs got eliminated, and NeoVim got eliminated. Kate, not gonna lie to you, the one thing I liked about it was the opening multiple projects, which Zed can also do, and I just like Zed a lot more. Its Git interface is atrocious for Kate, and considering that I rely heavily on seeing the changes that I make before I do a commit, I don't tend to rely a whole lot on doing pull requests for myself, but I prefer to review my code before I commit it. So Zed can help me with that. Kate, not so much. VS Code is probably one of the things that I hated the most, is just the way that it opens a split view where it's not even clear which is which. And if you try to edit it, it freaks out. So Zed doesn't seem to have any of those problems. Kate just has a diff view as well, but it's not amazing. But yeah. I have micro tomorrow, and it's going to be micro with some configuration. And this is where I wish that when someone in chat gave me a bunch of stuff to install, I had bothered copying that message. VS Code used to have a merged view, but one day they randomly decided to do garbage split view. They kind of have it. You can still get it. If you... like here, you can have it, but it's not the same. It's not the same. As to why they went through all that trouble to make it worse, don't want to blame a certain corporation, but they blame themselves. All right, so tomorrow I'm going to work a little bit on the engine itself. I'm surprised that I actually was able to do cross-platform so quickly, because I did it between yesterday and today, and a little bit off stream, but even that was just like an hour or two. I mean, it was one day, a couple hours. Don't remember exactly how long. But yeah, it was fairly easy to do. There is still the vector stuff to fix, because I just kind of implemented stuffs that don't work well, and so collisions are utterly broken. Maybe I'll have some time to do that tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be able to do some hardware rendering type of stuff. All right. Tomorrow's stream is at the same time as today, 3 p.m. CET. Just coming to say goodbye. 3 p.m. Central European Time, 2 p.m. UK Time, UTC. And say goodbye, Jester, please, if you're gonna be here. Oh, he's looking very white. I feel like the light is really bouncing off his face. All right. Yeah, tomorrow I'm using micro. Gonna customize it a little bit. Gonna hate it a little bit, probably. And then Monday I'm using Zed. I mean, I'm picking a winner. I'm picking a winner by the time that Monday rolls around, and I will be using Zed. And yes, I am ending the stream. Thank you so much, Jester, and everyone for watching. See you tomorrow.